Hi guys, it's Monique from Vegan Living 24/7. I just wanted to share with you guys, for those of you that are still interested, who knows, it's been a long time, sorry, but I just wanted to let you guys all know about what happened with me and my raw vegan journey or challenge. I was following the Raw Food Romance 30-Day Meal Plan by Melissa Raimondi. I do recommend this book. I will make another video about this later in the future just to talk about the pros and cons about this book in particular. But for now, this is just about like my journey and me trying out raw veganism for 30 days. So overall, I did enjoy it. It was fun. I did make a pro and con list, and the con list is actually longer than the pro list. But, you know, like, overall I did really enjoy it. There was just a few things that just weren't really working for me, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I did actually go 31.5 days being raw vegan. My first meal, I was trying to decide like what I wanted to be my first cooked meal after like doing the 30 days of being raw. And so I was trying to decide if I wanted to cook something at home and like what should it be? Should it be like a stir fry, like, or a curry, or like what should it be, you know? Like I wanted it to be healthy, right? I didn't want it to like my first thing to be was like fries or like a pizza or something like that, right? And then I was also wondering, should I go to like a restaurant, like one of my favorite restaurants, and what should I get? So this is what I got. As you can see, I went to the Clever Rabbit. I had the curried lentils and rice. It's a really good meal there, and I thought that, yeah, I just decided to get that because I was looking at the menu and I thought that that would be one of the more healthier options, and that would be something that I would have made something kind of like that at home anyway, so that's what I went with. It's a good meal. I would definitely recommend trying that one out if you're ever at the Clever Rabbit in Edmonton, Alberta. So I just wanted to clarify that I didn't do the 30 days raw veganism with the intention of ever becoming fully raw. Most people don't. Like, I've talked to a lot of people that have said they started off with doing 30 days of raw and then they ended up being raw like full time because they loved it so much. But because of the reasons I'm going to get to in a minute of the cons, that's the reason why I didn't stay with it. So the reason why I did decide to do the raw was because I wanted to eat healthier and I wanted to eat out less at restaurants. I wanted to like get back to like loving food and to like making food at home and stuff like that. I've been following Lissa's Raw Food Romance for a while now on like YouTube and her Instagram and Snapchat, and I'm actually friends with her. And I've just found like the raw food, like just the raw like diet, you know, to be kind of interesting, as I'm sure most people do. Like honestly, when I was giving that a try, like my subscriber list did go up, like the people that were following me. And I think it's just honestly because everybody's curious about it. It's kind of fascinating. It's interesting. It's not something that's talked about very often. So people want to hear more about it and they want to like watch people and like hear about their experiences and that sort of thing. Okay, so now I'm going to get to the pros and cons. So for pros, first off, right away, I've already mentioned this if you've watched any of the previous videos, I felt like great energy like right away. Like eating lots of raw food, you just feel like, I'm not even lying, like I thought people maybe were like exaggerating on this, but like no, you feel like really great energy, and I love it. I loved that so much. Over time, I was finding that making the salads were like really easy to make and really fun. It wasn't like too hard or taking too much time. My boyfriend would tell me that it took me a really long time to make my salads, but it didn't really feel like a long time, so I don't really know about that. I don't really time myself when I'm making my food. And so yeah, now that I've gotten back to eating cooked foods, sometimes I really crave those salads, so I'll like make the salads. And yeah, I'm like super lazy about making my food all the time usually, so like when I make, I'll use romaine lettuce. I never really ate romaine lettuce that often before, but romaine lettuce is so like low key, like it's so easy to like just like, I just rinse it quickly under the sink. Like I'm not huge about trying to get all the stuff off of it. If you are, that's cool, but like yeah, I'll just do that, and then I'll just like break it apart into like, I don't know, like one romaine leaf. into like 4 pieces and or something like that. Like something like that. So long as I'm able to like stick it on a fork and shove it in my mouth, I don't really care. And then I'm pretty good at like dicing up like a cucumber like really quickly now and stuff like that. So I would say like after having done like the raw for a little while, like you get like used to like chopping up a little bit quicker. So that was good. I still am not like super pro at knowing which knives to use for certain fruits and vegetables. My boyfriend likes to laugh at me for that, but you know, whatever. Thursday. Getting parched from talking so much. So once I learned that you can just put your food out onto the counter so that it cools, so that it warms up to room temperature, I realized that then I wouldn't be cold. This was a tip that I got from Melissa. And yeah, so I just started doing that. Like the first day or two, I had forgotten about that tip. And yeah, it was pretty cold. So just, yeah, if you're going to try out raw veganism, make sure to, after you make your food and stuff like that, just put it on the counter for a little bit and then go to eat it. Or you can rinse your salad, like your lettuce in like warm water instead of cold and that sort of thing. And you'll feel, your body will feel warmer. The only thing that even now, like even as like while I'm eating cooked food and stuff like that, whenever I make nice cream, which is like frozen bananas and then you like blend it up with like other things so that it's like an ice cream, I get like so cold from that. Like, yeah, that's like the only thing. Like I can make smoothies and that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean usually when I make smoothies I don't use frozen fruit. So yeah, like, I don't know, I guess just using like full-on frozen stuff, it just makes me cold. But I can eat like vegan ice cream and not get that shivering thing. It's just like when I eat like nice cream with like the frozen bananas. Is anyone else like this? Or is it just me? Like, I don't know. Anyways. Okay, so now for the cons. So there's quite a bit of prep that goes with, I was finding with this raw veganism and like prep work for like making the food. But over time, I started to realize that it wasn't just raw veganism. The reason why it's so much prep is because like you're making food from scratch. So whether you're going to cook it or you're going to make it raw, it's going to be like a lot more work than if you were to just get like canned soup or like go out to a restaurant and stuff like that. And for those of you that have been watching for a while, you know that I've like eaten out a lot, especially like right before I went and did the raw veganism. So obviously doing this was going to like seem like a lot more work for me. So I no longer really think of raw veganism as being harder or more work or anything like that. It's just taking the time to make things from scratch. That takes time and that takes dedication, but I think in the long run it's good. Like I would like to get back onto that a bit more again. Like I feel like I've kind of gotten off the bandwagon again. Like it's May. I did this back in January, like for doing the 30 days, and now it's like the end of May and I'm like back to like eating out at restaurants a lot again. But as I said, I still do eat a lot of the big salads because I do enjoy making those and it's quite quick and easy to make for me now. Another con for me was that I was finding it was hard for me to maintain this because of my busy work schedule. I don't really have like a long time for breaks. Like they do give an hour worth of break, but I was finding, because I massage for a living, and I just find that like after doing my charting and cleaning and all that kind of stuff, by the time I got to sit down to eat, like I didn't feel like I had enough time to shove in like enough of my raw salad or whatever it was that I had made for lunch or supper or whatever before I had to go back and massage. So sometimes I would still be hungry when I was like massaging, and so in that aspect it wasn't really working for me. So like I understand that people say, oh, you can like snack in between, but like just the way my work is set up, like I don't really have breaks in between clients. Like it's back to back and then I'll have like a break or whatever, like for my lunch break or whatever, but like I do back to back massages, so there's not really much time to like eat things. So it's like I was finding that like it was hard for me to maintain it with the raw because you have to eat quite a bit in order to feel full. So what I would usually do, just as a general guideline, I don't know if this is what other people do when they're eating raw, but I would like eat until I was full and then I would eat a little bit past that just so that I would know that it would like sustain me for a little while. So I wouldn't eat so much so that I was like hurting or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough to sustain me for a while. Thirsty again. So another con for me, and this is more so for like with this book than it is for the lifestyle itself, is that I didn't have it like planned out very well for like shopping. So like in the beginning I like think I went and bought like 3 days worth or something like that, and so that was fantastic. That was fabulous. It was pretty easy to follow along with the first 3 days, but then after that, like I didn't have it like all planned out with like how I was gonna like go shopping and like with my work schedule and like my other things that I was doing in my life and like how to go shopping. So like, yeah, a lot of times I wouldn't have like the right items on hand to be able to follow the meal plan. So something that I would really suggest to people that are giving raw veganism a shot is to like just make bigger batches of things. So like, say if you're following this meal plan, like instead of making the salad with how much it's saying, like make it for like 3 days or something like that, right? Make a really, really big salad so that you can like, you don't have to like every single meal have to like make something new, because like that was so hard for me to try to keep up with. Another con is that I was finding that sprouted chickpeas, I wasn't digesting it very well. And I've talked to a few other people and they've said the same thing, that like sprouted chickpeas it's not really good like pea, I don't know what, is it a legume? Anyways, it's not a very good thing to like sprout because it's not very good for most people's digestive system. Everybody always says to use lentils, which is another thing that's in the recipe book, but I had split red lentils, and I didn't realize that you can't sprout those. So yeah, all I had, like the one recipe had red lentils and I don't even think it said red. It just said lentils and chickpeas to sprout those. And yeah, so I ended up having to chuck away the like split red lentils. But the chickpeas, yeah, I just did not feel good. And like on that very same day, it was like in the, sorry if I'm giving out information, but it was in the chili recipe. And on that day, I was also like, I had like a smoothie for breakfast, then I had chili for supper, and I had some other liquid thingy for like the lunch. So I've already mentioned this in the past. Sorry if it's too much information, but I got diarrhea, okay? Yeah. So it's like about 4 or 5 days in, and I don't know if that's in part just from like transitioning to being raw. Like maybe that's something that happens with people, is like maybe you have diarrhea because like your body's eating a lot more fiber, so you need to poop more. You know, like I don't know. I'm pretty sure when I went from omnivore to vegan, in the beginning I was pooping more. Yes. Again, too much information, but you know, just being honest, just being real, okay? So yeah, I would definitely suggest to not have a full day of eating liquid. Make sure to like eat food that you can chew at certain points in your day. If you're gonna have like a smoothie for breakfast, make sure to like maybe not have soup for supper. I don't know. Just a suggestion. And for my very last con, it would be that I was finding that I wasn't eating enough calories. I wasn't using Chronometer, and I wasn't able to follow the meal plan book right to a T, so I was trying to like do the whole rule about like eating until I was full and then eating a little bit past that, but sometimes I wasn't able to do that. And so yeah, like I don't even know how many calories I was eating. I can't even tell you that. But I know that I wasn't eating enough because like you can tell like on certain days, like you can tell when you're not eating enough because you're just like feeling shaky and you're not feeling very well. I was getting headaches whenever I wasn't eating enough. Getting lightheaded. On day, like it wasn't like that every single day because there were certain days that obviously I was eating enough and so I was feeling good. Like I was just feeling that nice high energy. So this really isn't something to take lightly. I don't think people should just jump into the bandwagon of this just because it's trendy and hip and stuff like that. I think you really need to like research it before you just jump right in. Like maybe try incorporating more raw meals into your lifestyle right now and then gradually go into it. I mean, I'm sure people, like I know a lot of people do this successfully and stuff like that, but I just feel like if you want to do this healthy, I feel like people should slowly transition into it. That's just my opinion. I found this was also occurring when I was overeating. So like when I went to potlucks, like there would just be like so much food there, and so of course I would have like probably like 2 servings of most things, and I think that just having too much sugar intake possibly, or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist, okay? But yeah, I was just finding that like I was getting too lightheaded, and this was happening more and more near the end, and this was ultimately the reason why I stopped eating raw, because I knew that it just wasn't working for me at that time. You know, I might try it again in the future, because I still do find it kind of interesting, and I did enjoy a lot of the foods, and I did enjoy having like high energy and that sort of thing. But for the most part, like once I finished and decided to start eating cooked again, I was thinking, oh, I'll just stay high raw. But now I've gradually like just, you know, I just eat raw like when I feel like it, basically. So I'm eating vegan. That's all that really matters to me, and that's all that really matters to the animals, so whatever. The only thing that I would like to add is that I did like lose like I didn't weigh myself before and after, but I did notice just from like checking myself in the mirror and stuff like that that I did you know, I did shrink down a little bit and thin out. I mean, that's gonna happen, I think, like when you take out sugar. Like I've taken out sugar and salty foods before, and I slimmed down a bit. And so like obviously when you're eating raw, you're eating like non-processed foods, and it's way better for your body that way. I can't really, again, I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't really compare whole food veganism with like cooked foods and stuff like that versus raw veganism. Like I don't really know the difference between that health-wise and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to advocate either way for that. That's up to you to decide and like do your own research like I had said before. So that's all I have to say for now for this video. I hope you liked it. I'm pretty sure this is kind of a long video right now. It's showing it. I'm almost at 20 minutes, but I'm going to be cutting that down a little bit, but it's probably going to still be like an 18-minute video. So for those of you that watched all the way through, thank you so much. Yeah, and stay tuned for more. I will be showing, like, as I said, talking a bit more about this book in particular, and I don't know if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about the raw veganism, but if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks guys, thanks so much for watching. Veg, peace, and love.